I'd just like to take you on a 10-day journey that I had in 2005. I was diagnosed with lung cancer. I was on the procedure room in Bellin Hospital, and they were taking a bronchoscopy. I was laying there. I was supposed to be sleeping, but I wasn't. I was watching the screen as he was putting his deal down my lung, and he finally said, "There it is. It's pulsating." Well, I don't know of anything in my lung that's supposed to be pulsating. So he found it. It was a cancer tumor. It was black and red and white. And for anybody that's seen a cancer tumor, that is what they look like. So he said, "You have cancer. It's in advanced stages and inoperable." And so after he pulled a tube out of my throat, I said, "What about chemotherapy?" He says, "Chemotherapy only buys time. Have a nice day." And have a nice day? You just told me I was going to die of cancer. Have a nice day. So needless to say, it was a very, very quiet ride home from the hospital. I jumped on the phone and called my sister, and she got me on the 700 Club prayer chain. And my next phone call was some people we know from the Northwoods, and they would go to Israel like 2 or 3 times a year. And I didn't get a hold of Jenny, but I got a hold of the answer machine. And she called me back a few minutes later, and she said, "I recognize the urgency in your voice. I don't know what's wrong," she said, "but you are on a prayer chain that goes around the world." So she says, "God is good." So we resumed our daily activity. I went to work, and Sherry went to work. Well, 5 days later, we were back in the doctor's office, and my wife and I were rejoicing this whole time. I mean, we're sitting in his office praising God. And he walked in there and he says, "I don't know how to tell you this," he says, "but you don't have cancer." Well, we just took right off. I mean, it was a fantastic time in the Lord. But he said, "This is truly a miracle. This is truly a miracle that you don't have cancer." He says, "I saw it." He says, "I have x-rays of it. I have all this stuff of it." He says, "I know it was there." That was April 27th of 2005. April 27th is my birthday. So what a birthday present. So what took place between the time that the cancer was spotted and the biopsy saying it wasn't cancer, I don't know. But that's the only God can tell us about that. So we had an appointment with him for 5 days later to go in his office to see what the next step was. But now he says, we're going to get that tumor out of there because I don't want to cause any problems in the future. I was in the hospital. My operating time was 8:30, and they had me all doped up, ready to go back to the room. And 9 o'clock, I was back in the recovery room. And I looked at my wife, looked at the clock, and I'm like this, feeling for Band-Aids, and nothing hurt, all that. And I said to my wife, I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "They took an x-ray to find out where they wanted to cut, and the tumor is gone." So needless to say, God is good, and he took care of 2 things in 10 days, which was absolutely phenomenal. So that's about all I have. Have a good afternoon, you folks, and thank you for listening.